Carlton draft. Great to have some people back in the studio again. We have got a massive, massive show tonight. Here they are. Santa Chilaro to join us on the show.
Well, how good is that?
Dennis Cometti to join us on the show. And Australian football royalty, Greg and Aaron Phillips to join us on the show.
You know him better than I, but Santa will be a bit flat after that reception. But anyway.
Exactly.
Well, it's a great week to have Santo on because there's so much stuff going on down at Collingwood. And
Story of the week
he
again,
will do an autopsy on where they are. A lot of noise and talk surrounding the coach and the future of the coach. Latest developments not long ago, someone has just thrown their hat in the ring for the job. This bloke, Neddy McGuire. He's new to the game. You wouldn't have seen him around before, but reckons he's got what it takes.
Hey, they are the big story of the week, on and off the field.
Neddy McGuire.
Neddy McGuire.
Keep your eye on Neddy McGuire.
There are a couple of big stories at the other end of the table, obviously. Two undefeated sides. Bulldogs going beautifully, but Melbourne.
They're the ones. 6-0. Big win over the Tigers last Saturday night.
Massive win over the Tigers. Thumped Richmond.
Absolutely thumped them. And by the way, a perfect way to celebrate Nathan Jones' 300th game. What a stalwart he's been. And Nathan Jones, after the game, gave us a little insight into what it's been like to pull on the Melbourne jumper for the last 15 years.
It's a huge moment for me and my family. I'm real proud of that, but more so just the fans that have stuck with us for so long. And, man, it's been a shit journey at times.
It's been a shit journey. It's been a shit journey is also Melbourne's membership slogan.
But are they happy this week?
They're 6-0 on top of the ladder. They're happy,
I have
mate.
not seen them this happy since the ASX 200 hit 4,800 points. That's really good.
I haven't seen them this happy since negative gearing laws changed.
Apparently they're all out getting their premiership elbow patches on their tweed jackets. So there's a lot to like. They're up and about. But I personally, that's not how I like to think and remember my D's fans. This is how I like my D's fans. I mean, where's that guy? I feel for that guy.
Can I just say, you might have to wait about 16 or 17 weeks to see that guy again, because you know what's important? Everyone's up about Melbourne 6-0. Well, you know, first time this has happened since when, Murray?
1965.
Yeah, you know what happened that year, by the way, if you're not a student of the game? They went it started 6-0, they sacked their coach and missed the finals. So
that's true.
Keep that in mind, by the way.
Hey, there was an interesting moment after the game. Of course, the Checker Hughes medal was to be awarded to the best player on the ground, and Bridget McIntyre was the MC, a veteran of media, super performer, of course.
A miscommunication has occurred.
There was an awkward little moment that occurred after the match.
We are very proud tonight to present the inaugural Frank Checker Hughes medal. Would you please join me? Well, I actually don't know who the winner is. I think I need to know the winner. Who is it? Oh, it's Petrarca!
Good on you,
Who cares?
Exactly.
We got the winner, the right guy got the goal.
My word. Yeah.
Bridget McIntyre, but it's almost as if Bridget McIntyre has the same floor manager as us, by the way. Hey, listen, Nicky, when it comes to presents...
Oh, now you're winding us up. Yes. Oh, yes.
Where were you when Bridget needed you?
Yeah, exactly.
See me in my office. Wherever that is.
Oh, dearie me.
He's a floor manager who you say see in your office, and he would have to show you to your office. But listen, when it comes to presentation...
Not naming names, Serge.
Yeah.
No, seriously, you're very lucky to have a job. But when it comes... Mate, seriously. Hey, that's the problem with unions. When it comes to presentation, right...
that'll get back.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Melbourne are the common denominator when it comes to debacles, right? I'm thinking about the 1988 grand final. Hawthorn had defeated Melbourne by a record 96 points, which made the choice...
They've got form in this department,
They
Melbourne
have got
Football
absolute
Club.
form, and it makes the choice of the presenter of the Premiership Cup that day, well, it made it even more awkward.
We have another former champion here today, in the person of Robert Flower to present the Premiership Cup and the medallions to the winning team.
He's pinching himself.
He was thrilled to be there.
Mary Boone, a more bemused face than that. Well, it'll be great to see them have a bit of success, Melbourne, because if nothing else, they've been masters of the acceptance speech over the journey, the Melbourne Footy Club. They've been absolutely magnificent on
Christian
the way through.
Petrarca had a nice one last week for winning the medal that night.
Beautiful.
But I preferred Danny Hughes' speech after the 1987 night grand final.
I'd like to say bad luck to Essendon. There's only one winner on the night, and it's us. Thank you very
much. All good, but personally for me, you can't go past Straubs at the end-of-season clash over in Vancouver, Canada, I believe it was, with this moving and emotional request.
The crowd, you've been great. And all the single girls, get back to the Royal York. We can all have a chat. And the boys played fantastic. I'll take them all. So everyone get back there. Thanks very much.
Well done, Straubs. Well spoken.
At the end, it said, "Good on you, Straubs. Well spoken."
All of that's very important and worth noting. But you have buried the lead again. Richmond 3-3. You've been very, very
You're
quiet
better than
on
this, guys.
We are not better than this.
Getting a bit wobbly. You got the Bulldogs tomorrow night. You got Geelong next week. You can be in all sorts of strife after 8 weeks. Are you prepared to say the dynasty? Are you fearful that it might be over?
I feel there should be a spill of all positions. Right. At Tigerland,
right.
Rebuild.
Are you worried? About what you're seeing?
Look at me, I'm petrified.
Right, okay.
Andy. We'll be right. What's there to worry about? This happens every year. We get written off. This is the annual writing off of the Tigers up until round 9. Enjoy it. Have some fun.
I've heard that Tom Lynch wants to go back to Gold Coast. And also, when they play in this, is it time to play the kids? Murray, when are they playing?
Tomorrow night.
Friday night football. Now,
footy,
just listen, as someone who just loves on Friday night football, and doesn't matter who you back for, you just love to watch Friday night football.
Very important night.
If the Tigers are not going to be competitive, right, then Friday night football is in real danger of being taken off you. Sundays at about 1:10. That's where you should go. And the last thing I wanted to say was...
is it? Wrapping up early tonight.
Well, Dusty's off to New Zealand.
Dusty's off to New Zealand?
Yeah, he's off to New Zealand, but because he's gone to New Zealand. Last time we went to New Zealand to see his dad, he only goes there when there's big decisions to be made. He had the choice between North and Richmond.
That's right.
And so I've heard. Have you heard the rumours? I've heard that this is the rumour. This is.
Everybody looks better in that.
I'll sue you. I'll sue you all.
Dusty,
fair call. Tigers are in trouble, but they're not unfamiliar territory for us.
No, that's very, very true.
Dusty could have flown to New Zealand in the time it took me to get to that clip, but anyway, doesn't matter. Listen, this once proud club is in complete disarray. You're in complete disarray. You know, you can't even get the most simple things right. You know that beautiful... It's become a tradition. It's a beautiful moment when someone finds out they're playing their first
game.
And they get to ring their mum.
You share it with your family.
It's a moment you'll never forget.
Yeah, and clubs get that so right these days too. They really hit the nail on the head.
Absolutely. Riley Collier Dawkins, right? Yep. He's making his debut on Friday night.
I can't see anything going wrong here.
You're right. So you're right.
Such a big moment, and it's emotional, and one he'll remember for the rest of his life. Is that what you're trying to say?
Do you want to throw to the clip? I'm saying it's a big moment, and this moment sums up the Richmond Football Club at the moment.
Come on.
Just going to be awake.
Come on. Mum.
You have reached a message.
What is going on down there, mate?
It's a shambles.
Who knows?
Wheels off. That is a joke. Jeez, you should be ashamed of your club. Hey, you've ruined the kids. Ruined a kid's moment. Hey,
no one likes a cocky fan.
I'll tell you what we are. I'll tell you what we have done well again. We've done Anzac Day well again.
Wasn't it great to see?
And since the world's been shut down with this pandemic, a record crowd turn up. 78,113 people turned up to the MCG. That is, everybody should be around Melbourne. You've done Melbourne. That is pretty remarkable what we saw there, given what's going on around the world at the moment.
It was a record crowd, at least until three-quarter time.
You're right.
Then there was an exodus.
It was seen all around the world. The game was seen all around the world. It was scenes that, put Melbourne and
what I loved was not only that those scenes were shown all over the world, but that those scenes were of Collingwood fans in distress. Have a look at this. No. Bucks, there's Bucks. And have a look again, there's Bucks leaving too. There he is. There's Bucks there. And I don't know who that is.
That's
Anthony Lapalia's let himself go. It's hard to watch, really hard to watch those scenes.
Of course, Essendon...
By the way, 78,000 Essendon and Collingwood fans in the same room. The federal government should have just got their vaccinations out of the way right there and then and done everyone in that stadium.
The day was beautifully observed again, solemn and respectful, as the Essendon Collingwood supporters and all other theatre goers are that turn up on the MCG, especially as they always are during the playing of the last post.
Love the last post. Message to fans, though, that during the last post is not the time to point out you're on the big screen like this woman up the top. Don't do it then.
No,
it's a sacred time. You know how sacred it is. The AFL don't even sponsor that. You know that, don't you? So that's how sacred the winning the last post is.
They're taking it very seriously. No, there's a way to do it. It's the Bugler's Day, and it's all about the Bugler. So if you are beside the Bugler, you know you're probably going to be on telly. But look at the big screen discreetly, like this guy on the right. He knows I'm going to have a quick look, but I'm not going to be obvious about it.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. So, you turn up on Anzac Day.
And by the way, I thought the Collingwood fans' minute silence for Adam Treloar was a moving moment as well. Can I say my excitement? Can I give you my favourite moment of the round?
Oh, I bet you I know what it was.
We're going down to Geelong.
Yes.
You know I love a torp.
I love torps.
And we don't see them very often these days, and usually only after the siren and outside 50, so you can kick a big goal. Well, it happened, and this was a fantastic move. Who was the player?
Mitch Duncan was the kicker. Mitch Duncan was the kicker.
And here he comes in, and he unloads. So I just want to point out, so everyone I get excited.
You do.
But I don't get excited as Howie, who's commentating, who just towards the end, it all falls apart for him.
It's a barrel brownie. You don't see it very often in modern footy. Duncan to really line up Cadinia Park. He's onto it. Has it got the legs? I reckon it has.
Just a little moment there for Howie.
Not bad.
Yep.
That's true.
A little moment.
I actually sent that upstairs to see if Howie's testicles had dropped.
Something to point out, by the way, that is at Cardinia Park, so that kick is only 35 metres.
A good moment.
A big moment. And, you say that Howie's kind of voice broke.
Yeah, in the excitement.
In the excitement, I can see that. But I think that Channel 7's Jack Edwards has Howie covered.
Trying to get a score for his team, Collingwood. Oh, it's a beautiful kick. It's a beauty.
It really went through.
He really had a moment. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the one and only, what a week to have him on Senate.
Great pub.
Oh, yeah.
It's Northcote Social Club. It's a great pub, owned by friends of mine.
Good pub, Sam.
In fact, most of my friends are publicans.
Terrific pub, Sam.
It'll come as no
That's good
surprise.
pub.
Yeah, that's a great pub. There's no doubt about that. Get down there if you're in that neck of the woods.
What are we up to?
Well, one of our great mates, one of your great mates, one of Collingwood's favourite sons, about to join us on the show for the first time in 2021. Please make him welcome the one and only Sando Chilaro, everybody.
Have a look at that. They remember who you are. Isn't that
Did we just
amazing?
surprise you? You look surprised when we crossed to you and you had a cup of tea and you went, oh, my God, on telly.
That isn't a cup of tea, that's a ristretto.
Well, pardon me, Your Majesty. What exactly is that? Oh, do you say espresso?
I say ristretto.
OK,
Actually,
I don't think you can say that on TV.
It is after 8:30, it's OK. Hey, before we get on to any footy, can I just... I listened, Nick, to you and Stewie Lowe wax lyrical last week about your days at Peninsula Grammar.
Well, thank you. We were, yeah. It was a spiritual moment for us.
And I remember, I saw the picture of you two guys. So for those who didn't see it, there's... Mick, can I just say that the young Mick there, he looks the kind of kid that would be beaten up by the current Mick. That is what I reckon. Anyway, so I think you would. And so what I thought I'd do is I thought I'd just do a bit of detective work and go back to the yearbook that picture was from. And I found the pen from 1984, right?
Yes.
So you can actually say you were in the pen for 6 years. Is that right? That's what it actually meant. So anyway, so I found that, and that's where actually the picture actually came from. Now, my question is this. My question is this. How does...
Your question is, what happened to that kid?
How does a bright kid with a twinkle in his eye and an infectious smile and the world at his feet go from this to this? Look at that. Nick, honestly, that is just... Your mum is watching. She's going, what the hell happened? But
well, that's bad parenting, obviously. It's not that in.
But the good thing is that I actually went through the book and I thought, let's have a look at Mick's achievements.
Good on you, Columbo. I mean, what are you doing?
Have a look, guys. You have to have a look at this. Prefect.
Yeah.
Chairman of the Year 12 Common Room Committee. What is that? What is that? You allowed to smoke in there or what?
What a chairman of the Year 12 Common Room Committee. Seriously,
it's like that Costa Nusa. It was like...
You can't say that while I'm around.
Really, it was just refilling the beanbags.
You're in the first 20 of the football. Did they have 20 people in the team?
We needed them.
We had 18.
We did.
So A-grade debating, Mick.
Yeah, well, why would that become such a surprise?
Well, what were you debating? What's better, Winnie Blues or Winnie Blues? What is the standard of debating in that?
And I won the argument by chain smoking through the whole debate.
But if we could just put it up, there's some other stuff.
Oh, we're going on with this, aren't we?
I certainly hope that Fiddler doesn't mean what I think it means.
That was a school production of
Fiddler on the Roof?
Yeah.
Can you give us the song? Can you give us the Giants theme song? Didn't that come from Fiddler on the Roof?
Giants?
Yeah,
no, they were. No, I don't know about to burst into song.
What about Santo? Did you prefect? Prefect is unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah. The only prefect in the school's history to be involved in a betting scandal. It's amazing.
But the one that freaked me out a little bit was Ducks of the School. You were the Ducks of the School in humanities.
It doesn't say a lot for that school.
Ducks of the School. Ducks of the School.
Ducks of the School.
This is totally uninteresting to people who've come here.
Ducks of the School.
In good faith to be entertained about football.
And I think I also saw you're in the editorial committee. Were you the person that tried to introduce Page 3 Girl to the school page?
To the school magazine.
And it's an all-boys school, isn't it?
I did. And funny dunnies. And funny celebrity skid marks. That was one of my favourites.
That's beautiful.
And home teachers. Home teachers was one of mine.
I suspect you're doing this to deflect from chat about Collingwood, who you do love. You love your footy team.
You see right through me. But I'm an optimist. I think that they're going fine. We've recruited well. You know.
1 and 5, second last on the ladder. You must be incredibly worried about where your footy team. There, I mean, look at that. There's only North Melbourne
glass half full. We're only one game out of the top 16. We're knocking on the door.
And what's the problem? What's the problem?
Well, the problem is our percentage, clearly. Now, but the good thing is that even a narrow loss now is a percentage booster.
Yeah.
You know, so if we hover around the 80s, we're OK.
Is the coach on thin ice?
Oh, well, that's a big... I love Bucks, but... Yep. I mean, he hasn't got the full support of the board yet, so I reckon he's OK. He's safe for now. I think we just have to be a little bit patient. But look, don't you reckon, Andy, regardless of what happens at Collingwood, you guys showed a bit of the Anzac Day game. It's still a wonderful spectacle, no matter where we are on the ladder. Just have a look at that. That is amazing. That bugler had a great day. He got to do an encore of that in the Collingwood dressing rooms afterwards. Actually, did you see... Actually, can we freeze on that? Can we freeze on that shot just for a sec? I reckon that is a that's a really solemn moment there. That's when, that's when Bucks and his boys remembered those who have gone too early. Adam Treloar, Eddie Maguire. That was a really touching moment. And did you see the guy with the gun?
Yeah.
That's Bucks' security. That's what it was. But it was a great game. It was. And by the way, age shall not weary them. That's the motto for our midfield. Isn't that beautiful?
That's a very good point. Your midfield is so old, they're eligible for the vaccination. That's the problem. That's one of the problems.
They're 1B. Yeah. But, seeing the Anzac Day in all its glory...
It's a magnificent day.
It makes you think of World War I and World War II and you were mentioning before about Collingwood's bad record, but I was thinking about it. In 2 world wars, Germany's 0-2. That's not a good record. I'm just thinking, in the world of global domination, has anyone come back from 0-2? I don't reckon. The Persians were 0-2, and I think they ever recovered.
No.
Sam, do you the Macedonia?
Can I just, with Germany,
right?
They had a pretty easy draw with Poland and France. That's all I'll say about that. Genghis Khan and the Mongols did all right.
They did all right. Well, Genghis Khan, and I think his father was Kublai Khan. I think he was recruited in the father-son eating. So they did well. But I tell you what, who does have to be careful, and that is the Bulldogs and the Demons, because I believe I think the Incas and the Aztecs was 6-0, and then the Spanish came along, and that put an end to that.
People may be wondering, you are uniquely qualified to talk about a war, of course.
Well, so is Mick. You were Ducks of Humanities, mate.
But your grandfather fought in the Second World War, didn't he? Or the First World War? Which one?
No, it was in the Second World War. He was so brave, he fought for both sides. He was really good for it. And
Mick showed the Pies fans cascading out of the joint at three-quarter time. What did you make about the loyal Collingwood army?
Well, Mick, I thought that you know what? That is just low-hanging fruit. I think that Collingwood supporters are far more nuanced, and you should understand that word. You were Ducks of Humour, so you'd understand what the word we're far more nuanced than that. I mean, if you look at the way we support, sometimes we're a bit angry, sometimes we're joyful, sometimes we're just a little bit wistful, and ultimately we're just happy and content. Just happy to be there, no matter who wins or loses. We're just happy to be at the game.
That's a great day out.
Yeah. That's a member of the match committee, you know that.
You can probably...
They were having a go at the bugler then.
You can understand why they were a bit angry. There were some pretty dodgy decisions that went against Collingwood on the day. I mean, some questionable umpiring decisions would have got them a bit riled up.
Oh, we all know that the umps hate us. I mean, we do know that. But I think that the officials will always get... they'll always make mistakes. Yep. It'll always happen. So, and I've got to say, and it's not just footy. You know that I'm very partial to the round ball game. Yep. And one of the great examples this year of bad officiating, I don't know whether you've seen it. It happened a couple of weeks ago. It happened in Japan in the J League, in the soccer. It had to do with Ange Postecoglou, great Australian, great Carlton supporter. Of course. Should have him on the show. He's a wonderful man. He's a great friend of Sam's. He's a great friend of mine. And anyway, he coaches Yokohama F. Marinos, OK?
OK, sure.
Trust me, this is going somewhere. So he's coaching.
If you guys want to get up and stretch your legs, that's fine. He's coming back.
I thought there was a minute's silence then for a bit. And anyway, so what's happened? So this is an example of bad officiating. It all began, right, when the referee gave a yellow card to his captain, OK? Captain, he's not happy. Ange is really not happy. So he's letting loose. He doesn't speak English, of course. Sorry, he doesn't speak Japanese. So he's having to go in English at the referee. The referee comes over. That's his translator on the left-hand side. Referee's had enough, so he decides to give a yellow card. He pulls it out. Who does he give the yellow card to? The translator. What is going on there?
Oh, that is fantastic.
What is he? I mean, was he that bad? Is that why he's giving him a yellow card? If the translator is any good, he would have pulled out a yellow card and given it to Anne. That's what happened to you. That's unbelievable.
Sam generally keeps an eye on commentary throughout the season for us. Has any commentary at all throughout season 2021 caught your ear at this point?
I don't know. The special comments for me is like you're just filling in time. And sorry.
Yeah, can I just remind you, you are on a network that broadcasts the football.
As I was saying that, I was just thinking that. But sometimes you just don't understand what is going on. Now, I don't know whether you guys saw, but there was a Swans-Essendon game a couple of weeks ago. Yep. And Joe Watson, who was doing special comments, he came out with something. You just have a listen to this and just see whether you can make any sense out of it. Just have a listen.
Turn it back into a one-goal game. Seems to be the standard apparatus for these two teams.
Now, Mick, you've studied Latin, obviously. So Joe Watson, he a standus operatus. Now, to me, it's either Russell Crowe's character in Gladiator, or perhaps the Italian variant of COVID-19. But standus operatus. Can you shed any light on what?
I'm pretty sure that just reeks of Joe Watson. He went to a school where the Latin teacher was also the PE teacher. That's what that looks like.
I suspect it was modus operandi. He tried to get onto that and kicked it out of bounds on the floor. I suspect that's what he was doing.
Hey, can I just say one thing, mate? I know we love you. You're part of the show, and it's always good. But that's good to hear. The idea that you have got through a whole segment without throwing to one of your silly little props, right? I just want to say congratulations.
I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of having done that. But did you go? I heard I was going to get some tomato sauce tonight. Have you guys got some tomato sauce?
We have team. Well, there's team tomato sauce.
These are real things. Heinz Footy ketchup, and that's a Carlton.
And this one
so
is a Heinz Footy ketchup, the Tigers.
Team specific.
Where's mine?
Didn't you get one?
I don't know. I
thought you've got one.
Where did you guys?
Might be one under there.
Well, how come? Well, here's one, but how come mine's different from yours?
Well, how is it different?
Well, I got ketchup footy. They're calling it ketchup footy. No. Oh God, it's got no salt, no sugar, no chance of playing the finals. Well, Best Buy 2010. Whiff of desperation.
Hey, Sano, lovely to see you. All the best to your footy team. Stay well, and thanks for coming on the show.
I'm one of three girls. My dad obviously played footy, and when I was born, people felt sorry for him because he didn't have a son to play footy someday and carry the Phillips name. So, Dad, I know you're watching, and Mum, I hope I've made you proud. And you can stick it up those people that said that to you.
She's done that in spades. 2009 AFLW award winner. She's done everything you can do in footy. She's done everything you can do in sport, just about. Two giants of Australian football, not just South Australian football. Join us on the show, Greg and Erin Phillips, everybody. Great to have you here. Magnificent to see you.
It is. And can I say you both look great? You, Greg, look fantastic. Who are you dressed by tonight?
Yeah, that's it, mate.
What happened, Erin? You said you had nothing to wear tonight. Is that right? Or?
Yeah, well, it was Dad's birthday last month, and I said, well, you're coming on the front bar, better buy you something to wear, otherwise you'd turn up in footy shorts.
All birthday presents, mate, yeah.
Did you wear the present or just the wrapping paper? What do you... No, you look good, Greg. You look good, mate.
Magnificent to have you here. We're going to talk about both your careers. They've both been... Your contribution that you both made, and together you made to footy has been extraordinary. Let's start with the daughter. When you came back, Erin, and you decided you were going to play footy, in your wildest dreams, could you believe, A, you're going to be part of such a special group and then do what you've actually done in the 5 years of this competition?
Yeah, no way. I mean, it was 17 years since I'd last played a game of footy, and just being on the basketball circuit, not knowing what was going on, and AFLW was just this whisper, and then when I found out that there was a women's competition, I just jumped at any opportunity to come back home and play football. It was just unbelievable, and the group of girls that I played with was just awesome.
17 years between games. Do you ever, in a moment, just think how good you could possibly have been if you just kept on playing?
Look, I would have just loved to have, I wouldn't have changed anything in my career. I love basketball and where that's taken me internationally, but I do wonder sometimes the amount of time that I did put into basketball, where my game could have been. But pretty happy with what I've done.
Has she stopped surprising you, Greg? Given everything she's done, have she actually stopped surprising you?
No, I definitely didn't. No. From a young age, from just, like from 7, 8-year-old kid, just always had a football in her hand, just wanted to have a kick on the road. Just, if I was playing footy, it was... I could see her on the ground at half-time after the game, and yeah, she just had so much passion to be a footballer. It was just unbelievable.
Sounds like bad parenting to me. I mean, sounds like Erin's just running amok and doing whatever she wants. There's no discipline here.
True story. I got left at Alberton Oval one time.
And I got the other two girls. We sort of just about to have tea, and I said, "Where's Erin?" And they said, "Oh my God." I went back there, I just walked straight on the oval, and I said, and mate out, I said, "Erin, you ready to go? Come on, let's go." She's been there about an hour.
It was only 8 or 9.
The last bit of footage we saw, Erin, was you on the premiership dais. Not the first time. I know you won 2, but that wasn't the first 2 times you've been on the dais. Of course, Greg, you played in the 1992 Sandford Premiership for Port Adelaide beat, and there you are, Erin, up on the side there. Big part of the celebrations. Greg took you up there, and a special moment. Greg, was it planned or you just couldn't find a babysitter?
Yeah, the other two stopped on the other side of the fence, but yeah, no, Erin, she was keen to jump over there and do a bit of a lap. So.
She's at the back.
Erin, can I just say, at this stage, it is like, hey, just maybe give the players a bit of
I claim those premiership as mine, so you
hear these stories about the father-sons, the boys grow up in the change rooms at the feet of their father. Was that pretty much what happened to you as a kid?
Yeah, I was wherever Dad could be, I wanted to be a part of. So if that was in the change rooms after the game, which sometimes I'd have to be ushered the other direction. But I wanted just to be around it. I want to be a part of it. It was what I lived and breathed.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the old man play. So, Greg, these are the highlights from you when you're playing at Port Adelaide.
That's the only time you did that, by the way, too.
Erin, you've seen enough of your old man playing footy now. You explain to us the type of player that Greg was.
He was just, he had a nickname Man Mountain back there, and he was able to own the defence when he played. And when I hear a lot of people talk about my dad as a player, they rave on about how much they loved playing with him. It was just
a bit unfair on Dooney there.
Yeah. He's just a great player to have on your team, and brought the best out of his teammates. So I love watching him play. I love watching his highlights. He's actually a right footer originally, and then, I don't know, just decided to turn left footer one day. But it's just great to watch his highlights, and yeah, obviously was a big fan.
You spent most of your time in defence. You did go forward on one occasion. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? Was this in a pre-season competition?
Yes, we did. That's right. There was Port Adelaide played the combined Northern Territory side at Alice Springs, and we were winning by about 6 or so goals, and Scotty Hodges, champion full forward, was up there. as the captain, I just went up to him and I said to Scotty, Scotty, you go to centre back. I'm going to go to full forward. All right, so I kick a goal. You wouldn't believe it. 2 minutes later, down comes the ball. I took a mark, only about 25 out, and straight through the middle. So I thought that was good. And as the ball was about to be bounced, there was George Fiarchi, one of our Port Adelaide back pocketers, pretty good player, standing alongside me. And I said, George, what are you doing? And he goes, good enough for you to come up here. I'll come up here. And I said, George, I'm the captain, mate. Get back to the back pocket, mate. You don't do things like that. Anyway, before I knew the ball was coming, so I had to quickly go for this mark. And I just got spoiled, and you wouldn't believe it, went straight into his hands. Just, oh my God, and he's a left footer. And I knew he was going to have a shot, you know, because we weren't too far out, and he was going to have a shot. So he turned onto his left foot, and he was about to kick it, and I'd done this best smother. I dived. Smothered the best smother I've ever done in my life. And he didn't get the goal. And all the Northern Territory boys go, hey, mate, he's on your side. I said, no, he's not. He's not. Anyway, about 5 minutes later, we're both dragged. We're both talking about it on the bench. But, yeah, I made sure he didn't get a goal.
Let's take a look at the environment you grew up in, Aaron, and let's have a look in the backyard. Here you are at home. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it looks like there wasn't a lot of homework being done in this house. Is this fair to say? Is this typical of your growing up environment?
Yeah, that actually looks like my son Blake.
There you go.
Yeah, this is basically my whole childhood. Just whenever I could grab a footy and kick the ball outside.
And there you are. What age is that? And are they all boys you're playing against?
Yeah, so I was the only girl playing in that in the competition, but I think I would have been about maybe 10 or so years old there. But I loved playing. I fit right in as part of the boys. Pretty much looked like one. So I remember running out to a position, and one of my opponents said, "Hey, I heard there's a girl on the team. Where is she?" You're looking at her.
Did you take it easy on her in the backyard? Did you let her have a win every now and again in the backyard?
Oh no, well, she was a pretty competitive beast. You know, like everything. No matter what we played, she'd always, you know, she wanted to win. And if I did win, you know, it was like I'm not going to play anymore. But she was, you know, my wife used to say, "Let her win," and I said, "No, you know, it's something that I wanted to learn and to play that, you know, because I can remember in a game of basketball when she first started with Adelaide Lightning." She got 4 fouls in the first 5 minutes, and she was on the bench. And then Jan Sterling put her back in the last quarter, and she got fouled off straight away. She was out, and she hopped in the car after because they lost by, a couple of points, and she slammed the door. I said, "Aaron, please don't slam the door, love. You know, you shouldn't have, give those fouls." And she said, "Dad, I'm not worried about that. We lost, and all the girls were laughing and talking to the opposition and hugging them and saying good game and all happy, you know, that they lost." And she said, "You know, we can't be happy, you know, we lost." So she didn't have much of the game, but just
sounds like a fun house to grow up in.
So can we the basketball? A lot of people, like sports fans, know about the basketball career, but some know you as a footballer.
This is an incredible chapter.
2-time WNBA champion, Aaron. I mean, you were a superstar in the toughest league in the world. Was it hard for you to turn your back on this to come home?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I felt like I'd done everything that I wanted to do in basketball, and having played football right up until I was 13 and then pretty much, like a lot of us girls, had to find a different sport or a different avenue. There was an opportunity, I guess, to live out a dream of playing AFL, and I had some great times playing overseas in America, and the WNBA titles were absolutely unreal, but to get the opportunity to come home and play the game that I originally fell in love with, it was just something, I never thought I'd get.
That is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable that your holding pattern was to be the best player in the NBA. Or you wait for the AFLW to kick off. I just can't believe the casual way she's just said, I was just filling in some time. The best basketballer in the world.
Well, you've done a bit of this in your time. We've got a segment on this show that we very much enjoy called Rewrite the Rules, thanks to Carlton Zero. And she has done a bit of this on the way through.
I want to know about this particular trick shot. I want to know how many takes, and I want to know how this occurred. Bang.
Come on.
I thought of that. That's another one
That's one of the things you taught her in the backyard, was it, Greg? Yeah. But was that your non-preferred foot too, was it?
No.
What happened there? Where were we?
We're in Dallas, actually. We're in Arlington, Texas, where the Dallas Wings. I was coaching at the time, so yeah, that's what I would typically do during water breaks. We'd get a ball and start kicking it into the net, but yeah, the girls liked it. They were terrible at it, the Americans, but yeah, something I just like to do.
As part of your WNBA championships, Erin, you went to the White House, as is tradition.
Yep.
What was it like meeting President Obama? I'm sure you're glad Trump wasn't there at the time. I'm just saying his handshakes are a bit different to Obama's. What was Barack Obama like?
He was wonderful. I mean, he was just so... he just wanted, when we went there, he just wanted to hang out with us. Like,
he's a huge basketball fan, isn't he? He loves it. He's always shooting hoops.
And he's got 2 daughters, so he loves women's sport. And it was like he just wanted to sit around and chat all day, but, you know, he had to go and fix the world and stuff like that. But it was just one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I mean, just the whole lead-up getting into the White House, meeting Barack Obama was just unbelievable. Something I'll never forget.
It was in the front page. It was on the front page of the Advertiser, the picture of that. And I used to go for a walk back there then, and because when I first went out to my house, I seen it and I picked up the papers. She's on the front page. So as I walked around the whole block and I kept turning everyone's paper over there, walking on there, facing there and up. So they all pick up and go, wow.
Where's Greg? He's on his paper route again.
Give me a terrifying paper.
That's a proud dad. That's a proud dad.
I took about 4 of them home though as well. So.
A proud dad, by the way, and don't think for a second that I'm going to leave you out, because I grew up, you know, when you went to Collingwood, you know, you were like, you just couldn't believe how big this man's thighs were.
Champion of the game.
But Erin can have the White House and Obama, Greg. I'll take you and Peter Dacos driving trotters at Port Augusta in 1996. Anytime.
Peter Dacos on Caldara, about 5 or 6 metres over Greg Phillips. On not to be denied, Greg Phillips is now starting to work on Daly Chat, coming after Caldara. Caldara in front, Daly Chat the outside, they'll go along. Peter Dacos on Caldara. Scores about 1.5 metres on Greg Phillips.
Now, just to clarify, that is Peter Dacos on the inside, you're on the outside, and I say this with great fear of my life. You're a big man. You've got to feel for that horse.
Sam, that horse was put down.
How are you and Peter Dacos just driving trotters at Port Augusta?
I knew the guy that was one of the drivers at Port Augusta, and he wanted to have this bit of a competition between Peter and I, and actually I had about 2 days learning how to do it, you know. And when you drive, sit on those beasts, they can go if you let them go. I drove to Port Augusta. Peter Dacos flew in, and on the day of the race, and we're talking. It was Mickey Edwards. This bloke was. He goes to Dates. I know you haven't, you know, driven one before, but we've got to take you down the road and just teach you how to do it. Like only a half an hour lesson, you'll be right. So anyway, we went down there, and Dates was absolutely petrified. So he'd done a couple of laps. He goes, "Yeah, you will be right." I said, "Well, Pete, in this race, okay, let's just sit together. You know, don't go silly, because you know we'll both fall out and we'll injure ourselves. We'll just stick together, make it a good race." So because it was a 2-lap race, maybe they did put the horse down, but they I said to Pete, I said, we'll stick together. You know, as he said, we started our first lap of the 2. I could hear Peter going, "Come on, let's go." And I go, "You bugger, we're meant to stick together." He left me by about 30 metres. Like, "Come on." As we come around the straight, we're both going, "Go, you bugger, go." If we had a whip, mate, we would have probably used it.
Competitive instinct never lets you down.
If a rematch of that race is not the halftime entertainment of this year's final, I will be very disappointed. Aaron, you're royalty at Port Adelaide. You're probably just a proud Port Adelaide family. Aaron, originally Port Adelaide. Let's have a listen to you declare your undying love for Port.
The Power and Crows are both chasing a spot in a women's competition which will be launched in 2017. So, will she jump ship if Port doesn't get a Guernsey?
I was waiting for that question. Look, highly unlikely. Yeah, if you cut me open, I've got black and white blood.
It's good to see you never wavered in that mind.
Thank God for blood transfusions.
Phillips. I can't wait to put on a Crows jumper.
I have to say, when I look at that, it did look a bit like a hostage video. You were being forced to say.
Aaron was holding up that day's paper.
It's a joy to have you on. Your contribution to the game has been gigantic. Everybody does want to know. You've got the sore knee. Have you made a decision about next year yet?
Yeah, look, it's still a desire to play. I'll go and get a scope next week, and then if the surgeon says, look, you can still go around and play, I might have to lace them up again. So, but we'll see how we go.
Please do.
Please do. Well, I don't want you, getting into trotting or anything like that. Keep playing football.
Just go easy against the Blues if you wouldn't want to, right?
And Greg, thanks for hanging around. I thought you were just dropping Aaron off. It was great to have you.
Greg and Aaron Phillips. Fantastic to have them on the show. Don't go anywhere. We're here for the Brewery Fresh Garden Club. When we come back, that's not enough. Dennis Cometti to join us. In the studio with us again. It makes all the difference to have him here. Fantastic to have the Phillips here. We've got a huge round of footy to come. There are some cracking games. Starts tomorrow night, obviously. We're all looking forward to that one. All the way through to the last game on Sunday, the 52nd derby between the West Coast Eagles and Fremantle. West Coast poor last week. Fremantle building. It's going to be a very, very interesting game of footy, that one. Can't wait.
And Adam Simpson, the coach of the West Coast, had some very strong words last week.
He did. He called them weak.
Called his team weak.
Yep.
His press conference was outstanding.
I thought I'd keep an eye on the press conferences this week, especially Adam Simpson's, and I thought he revealed a bit during this press conference.
Alrighty, let's go. Hang on. Let me take my jumper.
Pretty extraordinary stuff. Pretty extraordinary.
Is that how you spent your day today? Is it? I mean, where's Sam? Oh, he's working on a bit.
Yeah, right.
I had to say it was 2 days.
2 days, yeah. 2 locked away. Yep,
yeah.
right.
Anyway.
Speaking of the West, one of the absolute giants of Australian football, doyen of Australian football, in fact, Australian sports commentary. Very, very lucky to have Dennis Cometti join us on the show. Huge week for football over in WA. Dennis, thanks for joining us on the show. Great to have you with us. Of course, you've been in lockdown over there in Perth. How have you coped with it?
Well, I'm going okay. I think I've got every sports app known to man. So as a result, I've watched a lot of Bolivian sport recently. I'm a master when it comes to that. But also I feel some, what would you say, compassion for people that don't have my lifestyle. And I sympathise with the situations for many people in Australia. So hopefully it ends soon and we go back to normal.
Well, don't leave that house because you look to me like you're in a high-risk category.
Isn't it nice of Dennis to be broadcasting from his panic room, isn't it?
What's the painting up behind you? Do you mind? I just want to have a look and see.
You want to see that?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Now, Dennis Rodman would have this in his kitchen.
It looks like a cover of a Mills and Boon. You're like Western Australia's Fabio.
It was done for a fundraiser, and I felt obliged to buy it actually at the end of it all because the fellow who did it very talented. Yeah. His name is Shaky Jakey, and if you get a check, good. Well, yeah, that's what he does. He gets the shakes, but he paints very well. So perhaps Google it. Go and Google it.
I've got a portrait similar to that, but it was done by courtroom artists. So.
The 52nd derby between the Eagles and the Dockers coming up this weekend, of course. And Adam Simpson's put the Eagles on notice with the comment after the Geelong game that they were weak. What did you make of all of that?
Well, best he says that because there's a lot of respect in WA, obviously, for the West Coast Eagles, but they were weak, I thought. It was a very bad game from them, particularly when they did what they had to do and lead at quarter time. I mean, the biggest problem when you're on the road is getting to the game early and then hang around, but they did that, and then at quarter time, they completely switched off. So Adam has done a great job with them. I think was a little flummoxed by what happened. You wouldn't have expected such a bad performance, I don't think.
All right, so it's Fremantle versus West Coast this
Yes.
week. Who wins the game, Dennis? One word.
Well, that's only one word. You can't say that. I mean, Barrett is in doubt. No, Barrett is in doubt. I'm giving you a scoop here, unless you've had it before, but it's a scoop, I think. Barrett is in doubt for the game as well. So I was going to tip the West Coast Eagles, probably still will, because they've won 10 straight. So I think it's up to the Dockers to break that run. And they've got the midfield to do it, but in past games recently, they've broken down kicking scores.
You know, when you asked Dennis for a one-word tip, so that wasn't that bad, considering say, this effort back in the day.
Okay, Dennis and Don, in one word, who are you going for over there, guys?
Carlton. Bold showing from the Dockers.
One word.
Carlton.
Got there eventually, Dennis.
John Scott, bless him.
We've talked about many parts of your career. You'll be remembered, I think, first and foremost as one of the best commentators of the game. And no one enjoyed it more than me when you genuinely got excited about the play at hand.
All right. Well, looks like it's just plain old-fashioned drop punt.
I'm not sure. It sounds like you're getting your prostate checked halfway through that sentence there, Dennis.
I don't remember that. What did he kick in the end? I get curious about things like that.
I think he kicked the goal, but it seemed an odd one to
he
get.
Loves drops punts. You know, that's
from
what he
30
does.
out.
Hey,
Exactly.
Dennis, can I just ask
Yes.
you? Obviously, you are a true custodian of the game. What about your wife? Does your wife V like the game of football?
Well, she didn't at the start. She's sort of warming to it now. Those things happen in life, don't they? We've been doing it for a long time together. And she's watched a lot of football since our first date. Our first date, actually, with me, was a game at Claremont Oval. It's a reasonably long story, and I'm not sure the end is worthwhile, but you can be the judge of that. So I invited her to come to the football. It was a game between West Perth and Claremont, and she duly came, and she sat in the outer. I put her in the outer. Beautiful sunny day, and she sat down and she was reading a book. So I walked off and went to the West Perth change rooms. Polly Farmer was the coach of West Perth, and that was the day Graham Moss made his debut for Claremont. Anyway, the game ended in a draw. But unfortunately, running out into the ground, I did a hammy and didn't play the moment. So I sat down. After the game, Polly wants to talk to the team, so they all go inside. Polly's talking to them. I listen, but I want to get out of the room, and eventually I do, and I limp back around to the outer wing, and she's still there, Delia, just sitting on the blanket, reading a book, and then she looks up and she said, "You played very well today." I thought to myself, that's the woman I'm going to marry.
You chose well.
Last one, Dennis. I love the bit where you said that your wife is warming to the game. How long have you been married?
52 years.
Yeah. You chose well and showed it, so did she, Dennis. And thanks for joining us on the show, mate. Appreciate your time.
Good on you guys. Bye.
Good on you. What an absolute legend he is, Dennis Cometti. Enjoyed it, and you can still hear him.
You can still hear Dennis Cometti on Triple M Football. He's the best in the business, has been for a long time.
And he calls the bingo. He calls the bingo on a Tuesday night.
National treasure.
He is indeed that. Don't go anywhere. Another national treasure. Mixed multi on the other side of this.
Friday Night Footy starts at 7 on 7 Mate with the Telstra Friday Night Countdown. News, views, expert insight. Your home for the most comprehensive preview of footy's biggest nights. Start your weekend right.
And the snap is there!
With the Telstra Friday Night Countdown. 7 p.m. on 7 Mate.
to have you with us. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. Do you get any feedback for Sam or Mick or any of the shows? Make sure you hit them up on the social media platforms that we have. We've got several of them.
A lot of feedback, Mari, about the great Erin Phillips and Greg Phillips.
Well, why wouldn't there be?
Absolutely. A lot of people just to think that she could have played for Port Adelaide. Because, you know, and as she said, she bleeds black and white. And just a message for those watching at home, if your blood is black and white, go to the hospital. Things are not
very good point.
The other one is a lot of.
Sorry, I'm just finishing off the multi.
We're about 30 seconds away from going to it. So
this is, there's a lot of feedback on Adam Simpson.
That was staggering. I can't believe we didn't get that. That didn't get more feedback during the week.
Yeah, the Adam Simpson press conference. I kept a keen eye on it, and I think we've got a bit more to show from it. It's a very revealing press conference.
It felt like the floodgates really opened.
Yeah, there is a tipping point with personnel, so that's not a reason to play like we did. Our expectations are we still performed a bit better than we did today.
Possibly the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
Let's do it.
Is there a reason? Why is he wearing a bow tie?
What?
Let's just get into it.
Let's just move on. I didn't want.
Time now for mixed multi. You
all right? Do you need any more time?
Mate, a bit of support for the Ducks of Humanities might. From the Ducks of Humanities at the Pieces School to doing the multi. It's a fall from grace.
A bloke called Tim Beer from Peninsula sent me a whole lot of stuff about you. I don't even know Tim Beer, and he sent me a whole lot of stuff from that.
Can I just suggest that probably would have been better in the meeting during the week?
Are we good to go?
We are. We're waiting.
Here we go, people. Leg one. And by the way, I've got a very good feeling about this one. OK, first up, Jeremy Cameron made his, long-awaited debut for the Cats on the weekend. Keep a close eye on him in this marking contest. Have a look and... Oh, no, I've been shot.
That's not great.
I would like to wager he's been spending a lot of time at training with Joel Selwood, learning the Geelong game plan.
Oh, boy. You can't...
Yeah, go on.
Good support. Good support. You can't have it, but how about you take Joel Selwood to have 25 disposals and give you $1.91? What do you reckon?
I will take it.
I can't believe they clapped that.
Yeah.
You've left yourself no wiggle room. You know what I mean? It's only got to get better.
This is a rocket ship. What? Hey, wait till we get to leg 3.
Second leg.
Second leg.
Yep.
Okay, now this is true. Coaches use a lot... Yeah, you probably... All right, I'll give it a go. Coaches use a lot of terms to describe the importance of scoring during a game, but I'm not sure Brett Ratton used the right choice of words here.
But we just don't get the scoreboard nourishment that other teams are getting.
I like to wager that there are a lot of small children in it. Are
you going to keep going?
I'd like to wager there are a lot of small children in Africa who think St Kilda are undernourished.
No.
You can't have it.
No clap for that one.
You can't have it, but how about you take...
Thanks for giving me the second leg, Serge.
In good health to win race 5 at Morfordville, I'll give you $3.90. What do you reckon?
Undernourished.
Oh, we've got it.
Oh, I'm taking that. OK,
yeah, right,
here we go. I'll win them back. I will win the hearts and minds of the studio audience with this one. Oh, sorry. Third leg. I've trawled through a lot of animal clips involving raccoons and horses twerking in this segment. But I think this is my favourite animal clip I've ever come across. Let's take a look at these two seagulls. Now, one seagull's doing all the work, and the other's being...
What is going on?
The other's being a total dick and a passenger. I'd like to wager that's exactly how I feel after carrying Sam Pang like that for 5 years.
You may have seen me writing something down then. I just wanted to, you know, because this man is, for me, as a comedy icon in this country.
John.
You know what I mean? To work with this man is one of the greatest privileges of my career. And I just wanted to write down what he said. Let's take a look at these two seagulls.
The one was... Have you ever seen a seagull?
Oh, you can't have it.
But the seagull's like it's in business class. It's like... It's to order the peanuts while the other one's doing all the work. And the one at the bottom's going, get out of it, get out of it.
Yeah, no, I saw the clip, mate, all right?
Brighton beat Leeds in the Premier League 220. What do you reckon?
Right, here we go. Let's boot this baby home. It's always important to rev up a crowd with some pre-match entertainment. No one knows that more than we do. But I think this Taiwanese baseball game's gone a bit far. There he is. He's playing the guitar. He's on the...
It's extraordinary.
On the Okay. I'd like to wager that Mike Brady really needs to pull the finger out. Because
that's what
it's all about.
It's informative and you can't have it, but how about you have...
I'll take anything. I'll take anything.
Buy 8+ against the Hawks and I'll give you $1.90.
Bag it up, Andy. What do we got? 31 bucks. Money well spent.
If you want to get on the multi, jumps on the Sportsbet app.
Lose.
Look for Mixed Multi in the Megabet section of the app and please gamble responsibly. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the last shout.
This Saturday on 7, it's the start of the Adelaide Racing Carnival, featuring the Group 1 Australasian Oaks and the Sangster Stakes from Morphettville. The action also heats up at Hawkesbury for Cup Day and Sandown. Get comfortable as we bring you the best racing from 3 states on one channel.
Welcome back to the show. Great to have you with us. Time for the last shout. And he's got a couple of months to go as president of the Carlton Footy Club. But can we just raise our glass to Mark Lejudice, who's been a lifelong supporter of the Carlton Footy Club, came up through the coterie, served as president for 8 years, hasn't necessarily hit the mark on the ground, but off the ground, he leaves the Blues in a much better position than he found them. So to you, Mark, well done. Job well done off the field. Let's hope on the field it turns around, you know, sooner rather than later. So well done to you.
Well done.
Good on you, Mark. Yep.
You know, someone's already thrown their hat in the ring for the new president of Carlton.
Is that right?
Yeah, Reggie Maguire. If you have a look. Reggie might just have what it takes.
Oh, that's it.
Are we done?
We are now officially done.
This is where you wind
What
us
about
up.
this tomorrow? In front of the show, before
By the way,
show...
that's a great beer. Well done, Carl.
Yeah, no, it does a good job.
Just in case you were wondering who we were sponsored by.
It's hard to work out sometimes.
Top shelf.
Taylor Walker's going to join us before the showdown next week, which is magnificent. And accompanying him on the show, speaking of the Blue Baggers, the one and only Brendan Favola. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you tune in.
Come on.
That is next week's show. Thanks for watching tonight.